Alrighty guys, welcome to the practice round for the Santa Ventura 9-hole cup. This is just my one of my minimal or medium accounts that I have that I use to practice with. I backed up a little bit to recreate the extra mile at 8, which is what I use normally. We're going to make our adjustment here at 0% max with the navigator. I did 2.5 top and 1 to the right. And notice I'm putting my ball curl to the middle of the circle there. Comes up here nicely, and then we want to sit about right around there is perfect. We don't want to get too far up close to that rough line. 322 is right where we need to be. Now for the approach shot, we're going to go, and we normally do a rough bump here, but the ball or the hole is too far to the back and left of the cup, or of the standard spot where the funnel was. So we're going to go through the back door here. Notice I'm offsetting a bit to the right hand side of the cup, maximum back, half to the left, and I make my adjustment here at 10% max. And I only practiced this once or twice, but it went right in. It was pretty glorious. I think there's a tiny funnel back there, but I don't know. But this was a nice little shot.
Perfect shot.
There you go. That's hole number 1.
Eagle.
Alrighty guys, so for hole number 2 of practice round with random wins, we're gonna go with a GRIZZLY here, and I'm gonna put my yellow ring by the rough line there, and I'm gonna go max top and 1 to the left. And we're gonna put our ball guide going basically just a little bit offset to the right hand side. In this wind, we're gonna have to play this at minus 10% max numbers. And I tried this with a Goliath and it just couldn't be consistent. I did it 3 times with the GRIZZLY and it dropped all 3 times. So GRIZZLY is the shot to go with for this particular hole for the tournament. Comes up here nicely, hits perfect, bounces off, and a good rollout, and you see it just curling right into center pin. I love that sound. Dink. Thank you for my tokens. Moving on. Alrighty, for hole number 3, I always go with a power slice here. It is the easiest way to get up this dogleg left shot. It's just a matter of doing the minor tweaks. I go max top, max to the left with my ball guide right over the dark rough line there. No adjustment, just let it fly. And it comes up here nicely. And yeah, this is such an easy hole if you do it correctly. We are now right in THORN range, which is a perfect opportunity for an albatross drop here. Alrighty, so we are right up at THORN range, but we need to figure out if we're max, mid, medium, whatever. So first we have to find where we're at here. We look like we're more of the medium range. So we are going to bounce off the fringe here, which is always the most level part of the hole. And we just basically spin to pin from the bottom of the fringe. And there is a funnel, but it goes away from the pin, so you have to be very aware of that. That was the old funnel we used to use to get this drop. So now I move 1.6 rings, which is mid numbers, and just hit perfect. Even in headwind, this is not a difficult hole. So remember, we will have notes dialed in for you if you sign up for the Patreon, and there you go. Easy albatross. The link for the notes are going to be in the description below for my Patreon page. Alright, so for hole number 4, this hole just sucks. It sucks all over the place. And I've been trying to dial this in for a while, and I'm just not going to spend any more practice tokens. So this seems like it's the best route to take for this higher pin location. The bounce up shot is not consistent at all. In multiple wins I've tried it, so this seems like it's the most consistent shot. The hard part is the adjustment, making the adjustment straight. So pulling straight is very difficult here. And yeah, I will dial this in for the tournament since we'll know the wins then, and then we'll get a better opportunity. But for right now, this is probably the best route to take. I played this shot at 10% and it came up pretty close, but not quite there yet. Very difficult hole. Alrighty, so for hole number 5, this is a very long dogleg left par 5. There's a few options you can take here depending on the wind. I actually prefer a power hook here, but with the wind the way it is here, it's better just to lay up and play it safe. So we're gonna do a layup shot here, going just right over a bounce shot over the water. We're gonna play this at 0% max, basically a no move target. And we do add a little bit of curl just because we want to end up a little bit on the left-hand side of the fairway for the second shot, because there are some trees in our way, if you do not remember. And there they are. Alrighty, 300's right where we want to be, right around. Perfect. On to the approach. And with the sniper, we're going to use, this is a very fast green. It's got a lot of bumps and dips in it, so the ball never really slows down. You want to always aim about 4 to 5 green squares short of this pin. I play this shot at 0% max, and I still came up short, even though the roll up, you'll see, is super clean. I don't really worry about overpower here. You do or might want to add a little curl. It's totally up to you. Once you get the tournament wins, we will know how to play this 100%. But this is just the idea of what we ultimately want to do. Comes up here nicely, and you see how the ball slows down, but then it will not stop. And there's a hill right here. We're just going to roll right down that hill. And we get right up against... Even with just a little bit of topspin, you can see how far the ball rolls, so you want to be really careful not to overshoot this hole. Alrighty, so for hole number 6, we are going to go between the trees here. Normally we try to do the bounce over shot over on the left-hand side, but where the cup is, it's actually a little bit closer to the tree line on that green, so it's easier just to get from here and chip in for the eagle, and maybe we'll be able to dial this in for an albatross opportunity or a hole-in-one. We're just going to kind of line up here with our ball guide going down the center, and you'll see we're going to scoot over just a little bit right there, this way in case we're grate proof. And we're going to make our adjustment at 0% max with a power 2 ball, and just line it up and hit perfect. And it comes up here nicely, just rolls right through onto the fringe. And there we go. Easy chip in from here. Alrighty guys, there's 2 options here. One is in headwind and one is in tailwind. This is in tailwind. We're gonna go with a Kingmaker and a GRIZZLY. If you have headwind, you're going to go with a Quasar and a Sniper setting up in the same spot. Alrighty, we're going to add some spins here. We're basically trying to spin to pin with a little bit of offset. You can see it's getting super glitchy right here. I cannot stress that enough. So as you see, I'm a little bit short of the hole right there. I'm going to make my adjustment at -5%, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to add a few clicks of overpower. Actually, I think I did 3 clicks of overpower. So just a little bit, just to make it so I can get right over to that hump to get into the, there you go, 1, 2, 3, you saw that. Hit perfect.
Perfect shot.
And we're looking to hit the rough right there and just straight to the pin, center pin. Love it. So happy you finally dropped this one.
Hole in one.
Alrighty, so we are going to start off with a rock and a kingmaker. And the reason why we're using the rock is because the accuracy here, we need to be pinpoint accurate as to not roll off the rough. So I do one back and one to the right. And you see the ball guide is just going to right up that little baby hill. We're gonna make our adjustment here at 0% max and then hit perfect. Now you can add a little bit of baby curl here if you want to, but because I had crosswind, I didn't feel I needed it. But normally I do in every other wind situation, I add a little bit of baby curl to the right. Comes up here nicely right at the little hill, and look, we're right where that ball guide was sitting, so we know we're good. 307 puts us in range for our next shot. Alright, so for our second shot, we are in perfect range for our GRIZZLY, and this is why we love this club so much. It is perfect for bounce over shots just like this. Notice that nice long ball guide. We're going to bounce off the fringe, and we're going to do a little bit of back, and even with no spin, it looks like it probably would work, but I did a little bit of back. I pushed up just a little bit because it is a little glitchy over there. I made my adjustment here at 20% mid numbers, which was 3.1, and this is almost a must drop. Now in tailwind, you can almost send it all the way to the green with a Zerk if you wanted to, and then you would do an end-bringer shot from there. But that comes in nicely, cuddling right up along the right side of the cup. On to the last hole for this practice round. Alrighty, so for this last hole of this walkthrough, we are going to blast this up to the second fairway. Even in headwind, we can make this shot. We're gonna go with max top and 2 to the left there. You see I'm putting my ball guide to just scrape the corner there. I'm gonna make my adjustment. Even though I'm going into overpowered, that's okay. We're gonna play this at 0% max. And full curl, full OP. And got lucky with the perfect there. Comes up here nicely, bounces, and then just rolls right out. And that happens every time. You can make that with an extra mile 8-2. And then now we're ready for our approach shot. Alrighty guys, so for this last shot, we are going to play this at negative 20% and just take the safe shot. This green is very glitchy and very hilly, so there's no way to really know how to play this shot without trying to dial it in for practice. And I don't really want to use all my tokens for that. Now remember, if you guys want to compete and want to really do well in Rookie, sign up for the Patreon notes. I will be putting out every single tournament, and you can get a big step up over your competition with those notes that David Pendleton and myself work very hard to do for you. This ball comes up here and looking for the safe eagle, nothing's fancy, and I could have probably dialed that in if I really wanted to, but it is what it is. Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough.